You know, where fear transforms is in the presence of love, in the presence of divine love. And so the depth of the love, let's say the depth of the presence and the openness to love, the pure love, the love that is the divine love, the perfect, immaculate love, right? The depth that we are open to that allows us to hold a depth of presence where fear feels safe. We could say fear feels safe, but in a way, what happens is that the love outshines the fear. So what we could say essentially, whether it is whether you're holding space for your own fear that's arising in a situation, or a companion that's in fear, it's really always about resting in the being, resting as deeply in the being, in the presence, where you're not in any personality level that wants anything, that's trying to hold a space, that wants really anyone to be any different, including yourself if you're holding it for yourself. That there's such, because in presence, in the being, in presence, in the divine love, this love wants nothing. This love doesn't even want to transform fear because it doesn't recognize fear. This love just loves, right? This presence is just so present. And it's the depth of presence that we can hold either for ourselves or other beings. And in a way, that's where this form acts as a bridge, is that there's a holding of this presence or this love as each being recognizes that to be their own nature, and where we are one, and where that love is so too what you are, right? It's not so much that I am this love, it's that we are this love. It's that all there is this love, is this presence. And the deeper that we can rest in this truth with really alive knowing, then this is what transforms. This is what gives us the ability to hold the silent awareness for our own fears and stresses as they arise. And we become more and more adept at being still and meeting whatever is trying to surface. And if it's a companion that is fearful, it's to just be yourself, to not want anything from them, but just to love every being where they are, right? Because that's the naturalness. Right? So you can feel the truth of that just alive in your heart, because you are that love. So when you sit with yourself or you sit before a companion and you just rest in this love, can you feel that you don't want anything for them? You just love, you just love. And this is where, if there's then allowing a being that is ready to express something, to just express in their way whatever they want, the expression will bring forward what is needed, and the expression will actually be the answer, right? So, and it's the same for ourselves, that when we listen deeply, it's in the listening, it's in the receiving that the answer is, because the answer is just always love. It's always presence. And it takes different flavors and shapes, but this is the truth. When we speak that love loves you just as you are, it's because love knows only love. Love doesn't see you as the way that your mind judges you, right? It's the mind that creates the judgment and the stories. Love knows only love. Love doesn't see the story and excuse it or accept it or allow it, right? It just doesn't see the story because the story is only in the mind. And that is where you are not your story. You are not your conditions. You're not the personality. You're not your ideas of how you have been wounded or traumatized, or the protections that you're holding and the ways that you learned to survive. You're not any of that. And none of that has ever taken you away from yourself. You have never left yourself. You have always been perfect, immaculate love. And you are now just as you have always been. You have never, ever been anything other than perfect love, than God, essentially. And the story of the mind, the story of the life has never, ever taken you away. And this unfolding is the way to release the attachment and the belief in that story as who you are and as holding you somewhere away from your divinity. It's the releasing of that whole story through recognizing your immaculate, perfect nature in the silence, in the heart that has always been just like this, that you have always been just as you are.